Okay, welcome everybody. The much awaited August CPI report. Yep, that came out this morning. And to quote, no, what was his name there? Buster Poindexter. Hot, hot, hot. Hotter than everyone. Oh, than expectations. Oh, merciful. Heavens to Betsy. This is not good. And exactly what I told you. Comes in hotter than expected. Pew! Futures are going to sell off. Market's going to go down. The computer, Whopper, and Skynet take over because that's what they do. Momentum trading starts going in one direction. And it's sell, Mortimer, sell. Turn those machines back on. And that's what's going on today. Do I care? Nah. What do Alfred even me worry about? What a print that we totally called and expected here on the program. Listen, people, things are going to continue to be volatile moving forward. The Federal Reserve, they're talking about now it's gone from penciling in 75 basis points to it's in ink. Who cares? And I hate to break it to you, people, raising rates is not going to really do much. Okay? It's not. Unwinding the balance sheet, I think that will help to a greater degree, but it's not going to do much. Did you take a look at what have we talked about over the past couple of days here on the program? You're looking at the inflation numbers. Biden administration are high-fiving one another because gasoline prices are coming down. Has your grocery bill come down? No. People eating more eggs or more cereal. Huh? Because there's more money in the system. Does that mean people are eating an extra bowl of cereal every day? Rather than have a 3-egg omelet, they're now having a 6-egg omelet. No! We've got massive supply chain issues. We've got regulatory problems. We've got the government in the way in so many ways, shapes, manners, and forms. You think the Fed's going to fix that? No way. No way, no how. Here's story. Inflation now causing financial pain for most Americans. Now? You're just now. You're just getting this information now. U.S. inflation slowed slightly to 8.3% in August. Yeah, down from 8.5 in July, but the same as last month. It was what expectations were. You got to, even with the drop that we had in gasoline prices, which again, the Biden, they're all high-fiving one another. For the most part, things have not come down. I mean, we're starting to see some break in used cars, but look at new cars. Go take a look at the price of new cars. Are they coming down? No, they're not. They are ridiculously overpriced. My wife was putting putting full court press on me a little bit. Sorry, not giving in on this one. She likes getting leasing a car and getting a new one every 3 years. And I'm like, no way. You're keeping a car. I'm buying it out at the end of the lease. It is what it is. Again, what they're asking for a similar car, same manufacturer, same model, just 3 years younger right now. It's ridiculous. Okay, I don't have to spend that, so I'm not going to. Again, people, this is what happens when the government gets involved in everything. There was some arguments going on today on CNBC. They're talking about all of the money printing that has taken place, all of the stimulus over the past couple of years. Yes, that has most certainly added fuel to the fire. There's no doubt about that. And again, that's not just on Joe Biden. Okay, it's not. You go back to Trump with some of this too. Okay, Biden No way. No, that $1.9 trillion behemoth. What did they call it? I even forget what the hell it was called. That COVID relief bill that got signed in when he first came in. $1.9 trillion. Most of that money hasn't even been spent yet. That's just sitting around. It's going to be spent. You think that that's not going to be inflationary? Of course it is. Again, we're our own worst enemy when it comes to this. And if you honestly think that the Fed can fix it by raising rates, you've got another thing coming. Again, some of the chattering classes in the conversation today on the various different networks, pundits talking about the United States being the nicest house in a bad neighborhood when it comes to inflation and our economy. And there's some truth to that. There's no doubt about that. As much as these prices of everything and anything that continue to go up, it's a pain in the ass. You can deal with it. You can. If you're in a position where, guess what, it's really starting to hurt your household finances. If you choose, you can go out and get yourself find a second job, do some gig work, whatever it may be, to make up from that. Hey, listen, people, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. I was there at one point in my life too. I was there working 2, 3, 4 jobs. I know what that's like. I understand it. At least you have that ability. Okay, that's what we have going for us. But again, people, you hate all of this stuff. But again, everybody's got to take a good, hard look in the mirror. You vote for handouts, you vote for stimulus, you vote for child tax credits, you vote for more government spending, more transfer payments, all of these things. You flood the country with trillions of dollars in stimulus. You've got a government that wants to regulate everything and anything to high heaven. You got a government that comes in and says, hey, you know what? All you energy companies out there, you might as well don't even think about going out and drilling or doing anything else, because we're looking to put you out of business. It's going to take time for all of this to work its way through. I mean, you can get a drop in gasoline prices and you'll feel it. You'll feel it immediately at the pump. It's okay, great. It's not as bad as it was before. It's still bad, but it's not as bad as it was before. It takes a while for that to filter down to other businesses. It's not going to happen instantaneously. So no, do I think inflation is just up and disappear anytime soon? No. Certain things, yes. The inventory, the excess inventory stuff hasn't really, that bullwhip effect that we talked about really hasn't come around yet. I think that we'll probably see that moving into the fall. A lot of markdowns that should be coming in many different items. I think that will be helpful. But again, people, we've got some time. And what does that mean for your portfolio and your finances? Well, if you're smart, you don't change the damn thing. You own high quality companies. You own companies that pay you to own them. You compound yields. You look to take advantage on days like today when there might be a disconnect and stuff might sell off. And you look for value, okay? There's nothing you can do about days like today in the markets, nor is there really nothing you can do about the current climate when it comes to inflation. Can't. You just got to deal with it. Got to roll with the punches. Anyway, moving on. Company here, Peloton, which we've used this as an example on countless occasions. It's a teachable moment. I just do classes on stuff like this. You should teach kids about investing, and they should use companies like Peloton as an example. Why? Peloton and what they did, their chairman, John Foley, is leaving. The guy was an innovator. Okay. He really was. The guy was an innovator. He basically started this whole, digital workout, remote stuff. He's been at Peloton. It was about 10 years old now. What happened with John Foley is that, as he was raising money for his company and his great idea, and he was doing it via private equity. The private equity people, they obviously take positions on the board, and they also have a great deal of influence. They start pushing you in a certain direction. Their goal, private equity companies are not looking to build successful companies that are going to be here, 20, 30 years from now. They're looking to get in and get out as fast as humanly possible. So it's this grow, or die at all costs. And I'm all for growth, but you have to do it in an intelligent manner. I learned this years and years ago, studying companies like Harley Davidson, for instance, the backlog that they would have for their motorcycles, and you'd have to wait. They weren't going to up their production. They weren't going to overextend themselves, or most certainly not hurt the quality of their motorcycles. And again, that kind of led to the desirability of actually getting one of those motorcycles. It was the scarcity sale. People during COVID and running commercials for Peloton, and people wanted their Peloton bike, and they couldn't make them fast enough at that point in time. They should have just stood firm there, not knowing, and we pointed this out, not knowing that eventually the pandemic was going to end, and people would eventually, there's people that just, I have friends, they're like, I don't even know how you do it. They're like, I don't know how you work out at home. I don't know how I have to leave the house in order to work out. It's the only way I can do it. Everybody's wired differently. To think that wouldn't come back is patently absurd. And they decided to go all in. And for a while it worked, man. I mean, you take a look at where their stock price went. I'm sure a lot of the venture capitalists and the people who invested early in the company got out and they made themselves a fortune. But by what they did, they set by making a fortune by driving the stock up, they set the company up for failure. The company's made all sorts of cost-cutting measures. They've laid off a lot of people. They're changing, sold off some of their production facilities, doing deals with Amazon. Okay, I think that they might make it, or somebody might buy it eventually. Who knows? But again, it's a lesson learned, people. And you don't know when it's going to turn. That's the thing. You don't know. People, Chris, you're making fun of this Peloton thing as it's going up and the valuation of the stock keeps going up. Yeah. What are you going to do? Eventually I'll be right. And like I said, I can't tell you when things are going to blow up. I know that eventually they will blow up, though. Eventually, and it's going to be sooner rather than later. And again, it's exactly what happened. Terrence Keeley piece, Wall Street Journal today. Little evidence that the benefits to mankind make up for lower returns on your investment. Again, another watchdog on Wall Street echo chamber piece here by Terrence Keeley. Quite good here. The implicit promise of ESG investing is that you can do well and do good at the same time. Virtue signaling investing. Investors presume they can make a market return while advancing causes such as lowering carbon emissions and income inequality. But multiple studies find ESG strategies are doing little or either. Bradford Cornell of the University of California, Los Angeles, and Asrith Demordian of New York University reviewed shareholder value created by firms with high and low ESG ratings. Scores provided by professional rating agencies. Their conclusion: telling firms that being socially responsible will deliver higher growth, profits, and value is false advertising. We told you that right here, that this was all BS. They're lying to you, but it's okay. They can get away with it. Again, this is, one of the best ruses I've ever seen Wall Street pull off. One, ESG investing. I'm sorry, you thick hard-headed, testadora, you people out there that actually think that this is the right way to doing things, you're wrong. You're wrong. It allows Wall Street to show worse returns, charge you more in fees for those lousy subpar returns, and then have you thank them for it. Basically what it is. Yeah. And we're talking off, okay? Over the past 5 years, global ESG funds have underperformed the broader market by more than 250 basis points. Again, if you'd rather see a lower rate of return and you want to calculate what 250 basis points is compounded over 5, 10, 20, 30 years, it's a lot of money. You are leaving a shit ton of money on the table so you can tell your buddies how great you are with your socially conscious investing. Again, like I said, okay? To each his own. To each his own. If you choose to do that, go ahead. Do that. Voting. I didn't realize this was going on already. I saw this story today. We've got in certain states right now. North Carolina started mailing out ballots. Again, election day is November 8th. 2 months. They're already mailing out ballots, and if you mail them back in, your vote is final. What we've done with election day, and it's used to be, in my opinion, a much more communal thing, and I really do think that we need to get back to that. I mean, how many people out there remember when you were younger, election day was a day off from school because you would vote at your local public school. And I remember the machines with the curtain and all that. Still, where I live here, it's still, you go to your local public library or church, and you have places where you're supposed to go, and you fill out your ballot and you put it into the machine. I can't stand the fact that hey, I'm so and so. I could say I'm freaking Mickey Mouse, and they're still going to give me a ballot. I mean, they don't check to see who's who and what's what. I mean, there's no ID check at all. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Is it too much to ask? I mean, is it really? I mean, I understand absentee ballots. You're snowbird, part of the time up in New York, part of the time in Florida. I get absentee ballots, but they should be handled closer to the election. Is it such a big thing to ask that you get your butt out the house and make a sacrifice and go to vote and wait in line on election day? Is it so hard? I mean, to me, it has a weeding out effect too. If you're not willing to go ahead, if you're not willing to do that, maybe maybe you shouldn't be voting in the first place. And I watched this going all the way back to Bill Clinton with his motor voter law, where you automatically register to vote when you get your driver's license. And I've said this again and again and again. If you don't know what the hell you're talking about, if you don't pay attention, then do us all solid and don't vote. At the same time, it was actually prior to his motor voter law, was when MTV started their whole Rock the Vote thing on MTV. And, let's get kids out there and voting and all this stuff and stickers. I voted. You're wearing a sticker saying I voted. What the hell's wrong with you? Oh, look at me. I got a sticker. I voted. It's like, honestly, I've got more respect for the kid. Actually, a hell of a lot more respect for the kid that came home from nursery school that had a sticker, I went potty by myself today. That actually says more for that kid than your stupid "I voted" sticker. Anyway, again, Beijing, we told you this, building more coal-fired capacity than the rest of the world combined. Under the non-binding, hey, we got together. We had great parties in Paris. We had all these leaders fly in. We all took private jets. We stayed at fancy hotels, and we put together this agreement that means nothing. Under the non-binding 2015 Paris Climate Agreement, China can increase its emissions until 2030. Game on. Game on. Between 2015 and 2021, China's emissions increased by some 11%. The U.S. has reduced its emissions by some 6%. Yeah. China is planning or building coal-fired power plants with a total capacity of at least 100 gigawatts. Those are merely the projects whose development status is confirmed. So the real number is almost certainly higher. Total U.S. power capacity is 1,147 gigawatts. 1 gigawatt is enough to power as many as 770,000 homes. That's a lot. China, as of July, China had 174 new coal mines or coal mine expansions proposed that will produce 596 million metric tons per year. Yeah. Again, people, let's explain something. We can't keep the lights on. You think we're going to be able to compete? Anyway. Speaking about keeping the lights on, it was an interesting story. Again, this whole crypto thing, all of these crypto mining companies where they spend ungodly sums of money on computer banks. And I mean, I guess the electricity costs have gone through, obviously, because they have gone through the roof, to just try to find these these crypto tokens. They're mining them, whatever the hell that means exactly. I don't know. The crypto miners out there, their stock in those companies are down well over 50% this year. A lot of the equipment that they have, the computers, they're not able to sell right now, and they need to sell because of the business is not doing so well. Talk about just what a waste. I mean, I'm one of those people, my my daughter gave me, I think it was for either Father's Day or my birthday. It's one of my favorite cards I've gotten of all time. It's this card, this dog, looking all up. You know what? Hold on a second. Sorry, I had to grab it. And again, this is obviously for the vlog more than it is for the podcast. Here, a little dog here. Who touched the thermostat? Who? That's basically me. I can't stand waste. Can't I? It's wasting money, anything like that. I am the leftover guy in my house. I can't stand it. Yeah, to me, it's like wasted potential. You're wasting money that could be growing or doing something else. Or why would you just waste it? I look at this stuff and I'm like, look at the waste. For what? Some stupid cryptocurrency. Anyway, Goldman Sachs production has fallen off a cliff. They're going to be firing people. And let me tell you, all you little woke SOBs, goodbye. Goodbye. All you people complaining that you got to come back to the office, goodbye. Goodbye. Again, we do live in a different world. Back when I left college, you started complaining about your job. You had a job on Wall Street. You started complaining. You were at Goldman more. It didn't make any difference about hours or whatnot. You you get thrown out the door. I mean, get the hell out. There's your box. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. It's funny that Goldman also announced that they're no longer giving away free coffee. No longer giving away free coffee. And again, I do have to appreciate this. They say, working at this firm is privilege enough as it is. Woof. Woof. Again, people, it's hit that crazy woke pendulum that went way the hell up over here, starting to swing back. Seeing signs of some pushback, no doubt about that. This, though, I'm a little disappointed in Chick-fil-A here. Chick-fil-A, they scrambled to explain itself. Again, I'm not making this one up. They had some social media backlash when after one user tweeted the message, grilled spicy deluxe, but still no spicy nuggets. This was to Chick-fil-A. And the response from Chick-fil-A, I shit you not, was this. Your community will be the first to know if spicy items are added to the permanent menu. Don, Chick-fil-A account responded. Now, what the hell's wrong with that? I guess because they used the word community, that triggered some people to think that they were targeting a certain ethnic community. Do you have a community center in your town? People, you're getting upset over the use of words. Why don't you go and take a look at what the definition of that word is? But yeah. The little woke Nazis, oh my God, the woke Nazis came out and they went psycho over this. Do you mean like the black community? What do you mean, WIM, by your community? Now I got to cancel Chick-fil-A? Yeah. Chick-fil-A addressed the situation, saying that its use of the word community was meant as a reference to areas where its restaurants are located. No shit. That's what I thought when I read it. Yeah. If there's a Chick-fil-A in your community, it might be in your surrounding area where you live. But Chick-fil-A says the response was a poor choice of words. No, it wasn't. You shouldn't have apologized. You should have told them to go blank themselves. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com, WatchDogOnWallStreet.com. Have a good one.